I'm going to share a tune with you called The Castle on the Hill, which is a very important tune to me because it's the first tune I wrote when I came down to Devon many years ago, to a town called Totnes, where there is in fact a castle on the hill. So it's in A minor, and the range is basically from the low E so it's from the low E to the high E, and it doesn't use the sixth note of the scale, so it goes from E to G. And then we have A, B, C, D and E. So the whole kind of mini scale. So if you want to play this tune, make sure you can do that scale very fluently, and that's without articulation. So I could go, and it's important to be able to do it with articulation, but it's also important to be able to do it without articulation. So you've got that smoothness, and it also shows up any kind of gaps in your fingering if you don't articulate between notes. Okay, so the tune. So there's quite a lot going on there. On that first bit, you're coming up from the E, G to A, and that A is the downbeat, it's the strong beat. Those first two notes are what we call an upbeat or an anacrusis. And I've got different ways that I do it. Sometimes I do, or, so I'm going to be consistent. I'm just going to do the one that repeats the A, but both of them are perfectly valid, and you might sometimes chop and change. So and here the articulation is going to be important. Da 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 ga da ga da, ta ka ta ka ta ka ta, ta ka ta ka ta ka ta. I use taka taka generally. Some people use daga daga, or just da 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 da. But that's definitely ta 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 ka ta ka. So that's the first phrase. The second one's similar, but the ending's different. So E, C, D, G. So far we've got okay, and then we're going to go up a little bit. we've got that little lead up, so A, B up to C. Just going to have to practice that to get the notes. I'll do it a little bit slower once more. So it's going to D there. D, C, D. No, D, C, B, C, D. D, C, B, C, D. And then. And now we have this lovely arpeggio on E minor. So it's an E minor arpeggio starting on B. And we repeat that last G with a little cut. And then that first bit's very similar. In fact, it's exactly the same. I'll do that one more time. So that last bit. So I'll play the whole of the second half now. Okay, there's a lot of detail in there. You just have to keep plugging away at it until you've got it. And then once you've got it, keep playing it and enjoy it and make little changes. I'm not doing a lot of ornamentation here. The main thing I'm doing is these little cuts. But actually most of the time I'm using tongue articulation to separate the notes in this instance. A lot of tunes that isn't appropriate, but it seems to work very well on this one. So I'm just going to play it through slowly and then fast, and then that's probably going to be it. And actually it doesn't really need to be played much faster than that. Maybe just a fraction faster, but it's not a fast tune like a jig or a reel or something like that. So I'll just play it a little bit faster for you now. So there's just a couple of little ornaments there. I'm also varying the tune slightly in that very first bit. So I'm actually doing the... Okay, so that's just a little mini trill instead of... And that's the kind of thing that really you just need to once you develop your own style of playing, these things just kind of happen automatically. You can't really plan them too much, but sometimes it's worth kind of drilling down and looking at those details. But yeah, really, once you've got the bare bones of the tune, make it your own. Do some of these little trills, little variations. Be really nice to go with a harmony as well if you have someone else that can play with you, and you can come up with a nice simple harmony for it. But that's it really, the Castle on the Hill, first tune I wrote when I came to Devon. It's one of my favourites. I hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.